throughout those introductions, Liaison.
Alrighty. Well, as we just talked about, Frost is our map for the Ace match, the third game in our best of 3 final for the Go for SC2 EU Monday Cup. And in the bottom right-hand corner, well, he took game 1, looking to bounce back from that game 2 loss. In this final game, it's the blue Zerg player, it's Dimaga. And in the bottom left, looking to win 2 games in a row against the fan favorite Zerg from Vega Squadron, it is DaNa.
So we touched on this briefly earlier on this evening, Liaison, that whoever won game number 2 has a slight psychological edge. You're going to be moving into this game thinking, you know what, I've conquered my opponent. I know what they're doing. I lost game 1, but hey, I adapted and now I'm on the front foot. Dimaga, on the other hand, has not a difficult decision, but a bit more of a tough choice. Does he go for that same strategy he used in game 1 and game 2, or does he now mix it up? If he's confident in that strategy, mixing it up could be a concern for him. But let's just wait and see where DaNa goes. Okay, DaNa freaked me out because he had nothing in production, but it's just a 14 pull. But what do you reckon? Do you reckon we're going to see from Dimaga yet again that quick rush up into Mutalisks?
You know, it's interesting. I think Dimaga remains in complete control of this best of 3, and I'll explain to you why. He hasn't shown anything, to be honest. He won game 1 with a build that on a 2-player map he seems to be very comfortable with. I think he said to himself, I'm up 1-0. Habitation Station can play similarly in Muta versus Muta to Overgrowth. I'm going to try the build again. If it works, it's an easy win. If not, I can pick my favorite map, which is Frost, and go with a different strategy that I'm quite comfortable with as well that, you know, DaNa hasn't seen. So that's just kind of my, you know, as a wily veteran, I feel like Dimaga has more than that. You know what I mean? I just expect more from him. So that's kind of my line of thinking from him. And so because of that, I'm actually really excited to see what he could be bringing out here.
So early scout comes down for DaNa, sends the Overlord the right way, which means he sees this pull timing, sees the gas, pretty much knows everything that Dimaga is throwing out right now. Unfortunately for Dimaga, he gets a slightly later scout. Due to the Overlord coming over, he can deduce where his opponent has spawned, but not what kind of opening it was. Although, since both of these two have been favouring a macro-orientated start, I doubt he is too concerned.
Yeah, it's probably not going to do too much as far as deciding what he's going to do. And either way, it's been a 15 pool every time from DaNa and a 15 hatch every time for Dimaga. So he doesn't really need the scout for anything that early. He's still going to have that minor early advantage here that, as we've kind of talked about, is going to disappear as the game goes on. But yeah, he's mining and mining and mining and not researching speed.
This could be a roach play. Could be 7 roach rushes. It's certainly a possibility, although the roach one... Oh, okay, just a very early lair. That is a really early lair.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. This is cool. And this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, is this is different, you know? And you see DaNa going for his standard, as standard goes play. That we've seen 4 ZvZs from him now. This is the 5th one. And every single one has been the same exact opener, down to the queen sitting behind that baneling nest. So it's not a shock, and I think Dimaga is going to try to exploit it.
I'm really curious to see what Dimaga is going to do, because down comes the Roach Run and the Evo Chamber.
+1 Roach.
+1 with Roach Speed. That's the only real thing that it can be right now, but that is very early timings.
Yeah, and you know, it might, what it'll come down to is it might be a little bit, well, less strong than a typical Roach Speed +1 push, but you know, boy, is it going to hit fast, and he's kind of hoping DaNa is not going to be as prepared for it. The Evolution Chamber finishes, and well, +1 will start, I think, momentarily. We'll have to see, or whether or not it's purely there for, yeah, there it is. So, well,
good little scout by DaNa there. Sees what's at the front of this wall. Also sees that the Roachron is researching something. You can tell by that little larva-y thing poking its head out. And this now gives DaNa knowledge. Knows that this is coming. What can DaNa do to prepare?
Well, I think Spine Crawlers are his best friend. I think a couple Evolution Chambers at the front here if he wants to wall off. He's just going to go Spine Crawlers. So 3 Spine Crawlers across with that Baneling Nest back there as queen. All of this will be done well in time. I honestly think he needs a Roach Warren of his own. And if he really wants a couple extra queens to transfuse, but this third base is an incredibly interesting choice.
He's feeling confident that it's just going to get ignored, I imagine. If we look at DaNa's map vision, he's got overlords everywhere, and it's actually DaNa now going for that Spire. He had the 4 gases early, which gave it away, but...
Don't think it's going to be done in time here,
It's not. It's not, though, because the Roaches are already coming through. Roach speed is going to be done before that Spire is finished. This is a lot of Spine Crawlers needed, and if Dimaga scouts that third... Okay, my thought process is right now, DaNa made this third in the hope that Dimaga scouts it and ties up his attention killing that.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
That's the only reason I could see doing it.
Are 5 spines enough to deal with this here? I mean, you've got 18 roaches on the map with speed. By the time they get across the map, +1 will be done. And the Spire will be just finishing.
It's about buying enough time for the Mutalisks. If they get out and engage with the Spines and Mutas should be able to pick off the majority of the Roaches so that the Lings that are now being produced can do the rest. I also like the fact that a couple of these Lings are trying to pick off the reinforcements as they come through, buy a bit more time. But Dimaga, he doesn't care about that third. He's going for the kill.
Yeah, these Roaches come in 5 spine crawlers. There's so much here. I don't think he can engage, to tell you the truth, and trade even somewhat cost efficiently. There are 10 Mutas on the way. And well, by the time they pop out, I don't even know if there are going to be a lot of Roaches here to kill, and they might even just be able to beeline straight across the map here. The drones are going to evacuate the natural, though, and these Roaches are going to push in, take down the last couple of spine crawlers here and the Lings that go with it. But once these Mutas pop out, as they are just starting to now, these Roaches won't be here for long. Spore crawlers should start right away. It's actually going to be an infestation pit. A really cool decision here from Dimaga, opting out of the Hydra play into the infestation pit. And these Roaches, well, they'll just kind of trade with other Roaches, try to pick off a queen here. They're actually left to deal with the last couple of reinforcing Roaches from DaNa. And now these Mutas, well, for a moment now, they'll reign supreme. But Dimaga's finished up his own third. He's droned up a little bit behind this. Where would you say he is right now?
He's still on the back foot. He doesn't have a categoric response to these Mutas. He's already got a lot of Overlords out on the field, which are, for the moment, being ignored. But with obviously all these spores starting up, these Mutas are going to rack up a good number of kills. Won't manage to supply block Dimaga just thanks to how many additional Overlords he's made. But remember, DaNa didn't die there, and that was really the aim of DaNa's defenses. If I stay alive, I kind of get to where I want to be.
Yeah, but he's also suddenly opened up a dangerous window here. It's going to be Roaches with Infestors against Mutas and Roaches. And although we saw the Muta Roach pretty much attempted by Dimaga in the last game on Habitation Station, it wasn't attempted to success here. Granted, he was playing against Roach Hydra.
Oh no, the infestation pit! It's not covered!
Oh!
It's been scouted, but he's not going for it. If he okay, he won't have time to focus it with the queens there now. The transfuses, this engage is very, very, very brave. Very brave.
Queens are good, man.
Queens are very good units, especially with transfuses.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about Dimaga's love of queens. All 5 of his queens are up in his main base right now. And, well, they're the reason that infestation pit's alive and why the pathogen gland's finished.
The important thing is that the queens are actually a massive piece to the puzzle. If they're not there, the infestors have to chain fungal, either on top of a spore or just repeatedly chain fungal all of the Mutas. But add in the queens, and that actually leaves the option open to just get a couple of fungals, and the queens will do the rest, really damaging down those Mutalisks. So I'm really glad to see them.
And it's interesting, you know, DaNa's not continuing the Mutalisk production. DaNa is just pumping out Roaches and trying to hit +1 with the Roaches of his own, but you know what's great against Roaches here is those Infestors. Yeah.
You may be able to get a nice timing before... Oh no, the Infestor's already there with Pathogen Glands. The Fungals are going to start hitting. Good hit. Need to see another Fungal pretty quick though. Nice engagement angle for DaNa at the moment though.
This one Infestor gets lost. It flops out a couple infested Terrans before getting taken down, but well, DaNa's continuing to pile on the pressure and take that lead in supply. Up 10 workers and about 25 army supply here. Dimaga's finishing up his Hydra Den, but I mean, DaNa's done a wonderful job pushing forward here.
Doing a little bit of damage with these mutas outside the natural base, but going to lose a muta or maybe two to a spore crawler there, so just playing very cautious. Dimaga lost so many workers there. That's really the tale to tell.
Yeah, 38 harvesters. I mean, now 43. He's trying to leak out drones, but he needs units as well. And now the Hydra Den coming down for DaNa. It's already done for Dimaga, but he doesn't really have the income right now to comfortably just make Hydras. He still needs to drone up, and with these couple of mutas left around the map, they're continuing to just harass. It's despite the fact that Dimaga has had a tech advantage for a while, we really see DaNa starting to even it out. And with his economic advantage, he doesn't even necessarily need that huge army advantage. He can just keep trading.
And I think the way he keeps trading is really smart. He's preventing Dimaga doing arguably the thing he needed to, which was to come over and kill DaNa after losing all those roaches. But since he couldn't do that, DaNa's utilized that good economy in order to really up his production. And Dimaga is just falling further and further behind.
Yeah, and if you look at it, it'll be, I mean, once this engagement happens, it should be a maxed out 2-0 DaNa army against a pretty high supply 2-1 Dimaga army, but DaNa's got the worker advantage. DaNa should be taking a 4th base soon. He's got all the map control, and well, Dimaga is on the back foot here.
The one thing Dimaga has going for him are infestors. Admittedly, there's only two of them. And there's going to be infestors soon out for DaNa as well, but fungal growths can pull off miracles. It's certainly possible. Ask any Protoss player who played in Wings of Liberty, but it's a massive ask at this stage.
Yeah, certainly, and you see kind of DaNa posturing in case those infestors do come in. I really like this from Dimaga, this kind of 4-roach run-by looking for an elusive base here. And, well, DaNa's taken the one to the south, which is, I think, certainly the right choice here. It's much easier to defend and when you kind of take that quarter of the map as a Zerg player. But these roaches are continuing to be diligent. It's a nice little play there.
A 6 drone advantage at the moment for DaNa, which isn't that massive, but just gives it a little edge, especially on the gas income. DaNa seems to have been squeezing a tad more out, although I'm a bit... Okay, I'm worked out why. I was perplexed, but unfortunately Dimaga has only 1 drone in his natural gas. So that's actually hurting him a little bit as time goes on.
Yeah, it's definitely not negligible here at this stage in the game. We do have a really nice roach run by canceling the 4th base at the same time as those 4 roaches sneak into the 3rd to start picking off drones. Really nice little multi-pronged attack from Dimaga. He's evened up the drone count now. He's actually even taken a 1 drone advantage.
It's still very little, very late, and that's always going to be the concern. DaNa going up into Hive, and I'm curious why DaNa is waiting as long as he currently is, because this has allowed Dimaga to get a maxed out army, and the upgrades are still in Dimaga's favor, albeit just by a +1 carapace.
Yeah, and there's far more Hydras here for DaNa, far more Roaches here for Dimaga, who, as you mentioned, have that +1 carapace, and it looks like this engagement will happen before either player's carapace is finished. The fungals come down from the infestors on both sides here, and, well, pretty decent concave from both sides. It seems like Dimaga is being pushed back on the top side, but pushing through on the bottom side here. Queens come in looking to transfuse, and, well, in the end, the army is pushed back, and DaNa remaxing here on 30 roaches. Dimaga going with 15 roaches and 10 Hydras here, but he's running for the hills.
That was just better early fungals from DaNa there, although a money fungal there from Dimaga buys himself a bit more time. Can he make this work? Can he hold this onslaught off? Looks like for now he does. DaNa pulls back, but remember, DaNa up in the workers at the moment.
Reinforcements here, Madals. I mean, he's just going to regroup at this tower, put his injured units, which are really the Hydras who have longer range anyway, towards the back, and you want them in the back anyway. Well, and then he's going to push forward and engage. Oh, the Infestor goes down before it can fungal. Hugging in against this Zerg army of Dimaga is DaNa, and he's knocking on the door. It's 180 supply to 120, doubled the army supply of his opponent, fighting 2-1 against 2-2, but it does not matter. GG is called, and Vega Squadron's DaNa takes game number 3 and your Monday Go for SC2 Cup.